You know that feeling when you're surrounded by people but still feel completely alone? Like you could be in a room full of friends at a family dinner or scrolling through hundreds of messages on your phone, and yet something deep inside you feels empty, disconnected, like nobody actually sees you. That feeling is one of the most painful things a human being can experience, and if you've ever felt it, I want you to know something important right now. You are not broken. You are not too much. You are not too little. You just haven't been given the real tools to build the kinds of relationships that actually fill you up instead of drain you dry. And that's exactly what this video is about. Because the secret to building strong, meaningful relationships isn't what most people think it is. It's not about being more charming. It's not about being funnier or more attractive or more successful. It's something far simpler and far more powerful than that. Something that once you understand it, will completely change the way every single relationship in your life feels. And I'm going to walk you through all of it today. But before I do, I want to be honest with you about something. The information I'm about to share took researchers, therapists, and relationship experts decades to figure out. If you want to go even deeper after this video, we have related programs linked down below in the video description. And I'll be direct with you. Most people who watch videos like this walk away feeling inspired for about 10 minutes, and then go right back to doing what they've always done. If that's you, the programs below aren't for you. But if you're serious about transforming the quality of your relationships in a way that actually lasts, that information is waiting for you. Now let's get into it. Think about the last time you had a conversation where you felt truly heard, where someone looked at you, not at their phone, not past your shoulder, but directly at you, where they didn't rush to give you advice or talk about themselves, where they just listened, really listened. Do you remember how that felt? Most people describe it as feeling warm, safe, like they could breathe. That feeling is rare, painfully rare, and the reason it's rare is because almost nobody is taught how to actually be present with another person. Here's what's really happening inside most relationships. Both people are waiting to talk. Both people are half distracted. Both people are filtering everything through how it makes them feel, instead of trying to understand how the other person feels. And over time, that creates a slow erosion. The conversations get shallower, the silences get heavier. People stop sharing the real stuff because they've learned, through experience, that the real stuff doesn't land safely. And eventually, two people who genuinely care about each other end up feeling like strangers. That's not a character flaw, that's a skill gap. Now here's where everything shifts. The secret to building strong, meaningful relationships comes down to one core principle that the most respected voices in psychology and human connection have pointed to again and again. And that principle is this. People don't bond over what you say. They bond over how you make them feel. Studies consistently show that people remember almost nothing of what you told them, but they remember exactly how they felt when they were with you. And when you make someone feel genuinely seen, genuinely valued, genuinely safe, they don't just like you more, they trust you. Deeply. And trust is the foundation of every meaningful relationship that has ever existed. So how do you actually make someone feel that way? Let's break it down because this is where most relationship advice completely falls apart. It stays vague. It tells you to be a good listener without telling you what that actually looks like. So let's get specific. The first thing that transforms relationships is what researchers call presence without agenda. This means when you're with someone, you are fully with them. No part of your mind is rehearsing what you're going to say next. No part of you is judging them. You're not trying to fix them, impress them, or manage how they see you. You are simply with them. This is almost impossibly rare in a world of constant distraction. And because it's rare, when you offer it to someone, it feels like a gift they didn't know they needed. The second thing is vulnerability. Real vulnerability. Not performed vulnerability where you share something just enough to seem relatable. Real vulnerability is when you say the thing that scares you to say. When you admit the thing you've been pretending isn't true. When you let someone see the version of you that isn't polished. And here's what most people don't realize about vulnerability. It doesn't push people away. It invites them in. Because when you're honest about your own imperfections, you give the other person permission to be imperfect too. And that's when real connection happens. There's a reason that the deepest friendships, the strongest partnerships, the most unbreakable bonds in human history were all forged in moments of vulnerability, not in moments of perfection. The third thing is consistency. This one is underrated, and it's quietly responsible for more broken relationships than almost anything else. Consistency is not about grand gestures. It's about showing up in small ways, over and over, without needing to be reminded. It's the message you send to check in. It's the follow-up on something they mentioned in passing 3 weeks ago. It's the reliability that tells someone, without words, you matter to me and I'm not going anywhere. Inconsistency, even when unintentional, communicates the opposite. It says I'm here when it's convenient. And people feel that deeply. Now I want to paint a picture for you of what your life actually looks like when you get this right. Because this is worth sitting with for a moment. Imagine waking up and knowing that you have people in your life who genuinely show up for you. People who you can call at any hour without wondering if you're being too much. People who know the real you, not the highlight reel version, and who choose you anyway. Imagine going through hard seasons of life and not feeling like you have to white-knuckle it alone. Imagine feeling understood not just occasionally but consistently. Imagine your relationships being a source of genuine energy instead of something that constantly exhausts you. Research has repeatedly shown that people with strong, meaningful relationships live longer, recover faster from illness, experience dramatically less anxiety, and report higher overall life satisfaction than people who are isolated, even when those isolated individuals have more money, more success, and more status. The quality of your relationships is quite literally the quality of your life. That's not an opinion. That's a conclusion drawn from some of the most comprehensive long-term studies ever conducted on human happiness. Now here's the painful truth about why most people never experience this. It's not because they don't want it. Everyone wants it. It's because they've developed patterns, often without realizing it, that push connection away instead of drawing it in. Patterns like always keeping things surface level to avoid getting hurt. Patterns like over-explaining yourself constantly, because deep down you fear you won't be accepted as you are. Patterns like disappearing when things get emotionally complex because you were never shown how to navigate those moments. These patterns feel like self-protection. But what they actually do is keep you locked in a version of your life where meaningful connection is always just out of reach. The good news is that patterns can be changed. That's not just motivational language. That's what neuroscience shows us. The brain is far more adaptable than we once believed. People who completely transformed the quality of their relationships didn't do it by becoming different people. They did it by learning specific skills and practicing them until they became natural. Skills that most people spend their entire lives never being taught. And if you're watching this right now, something in you already knows that what you have isn't quite what you want. Something in you is reaching for more. Don't ignore that reaching is important. That's the part of you that knows change is possible and is asking you to pursue it. The related programs in the video description below are designed for exactly that. For the person who is done settling for surface-level connection. For the person who is ready to stop watching their relationships slowly fade and start building something that genuinely lasts. Not tomorrow, not when the timing feels right. Right now, while this moment of clarity is still alive in you, because this is the kind of decision that changes everything, and the only risk is waiting too long to make it.